Hi, and welcome to Wrong Way. And I didn't anticipate I would like this wheel so much. But I do, and here it is, and here I am. And let me tell you more about it. Let me tell you more about it. Wrong Way. So in this video, I'll tell you about the 21 things you need to know about this wheel. This is a Yappisode, so I will just yap on about what I've learned about this wheel after riding it for about 500 kilometers. With that said, if you want to get a wheel like this or any other wheel in Europe, feel free to check out monokolo.eu. That's monokolo.eu. And they're the sponsor of this channel, and you can also use my coupon code WRONGWAY to get an additional 5% off this wheel. They do not have any input on what I will say about this wheel, so of course I'll also tell you about the downsides of this wheel. This wheel is provided by NOSFET themselves. I get to keep it. I didn't pay for it, so I guess that's that when it comes to the disclaimers. Let's get on to the video. First, let's talk about the charge port situation on this wheel. Now, not only is it in the back, so when the wheel is on the kickstand, it's not that easy to access. I feel like we should go back to charge ports on the front. Just a lot easier to access when the wheel is on the kickstand. And it's also behind the latch for the trolley handle mechanism. So every time I want to charge, also I need to lift this up. And further on, I have the first batch sort of the charge flaps, and those were a nightmare to put back on. You can't like just put them on usually. Oh, well, now it worked actually. When I first got the wheel, I needed like 5 minutes to put it back on, and I found a method to just like squeeze it in gently, like so, on both sides, and then it just gets in. So charging the wheel is sort of not the easiest thing to do. But once you get used to it, you just put the cable in when it's upright, and in the newest batches, the charge flap has been changed to a newer one, which is easier to put on, but actually mine does work pretty well right now. I do like it that it's fairly secure and recessed, so I don't think it will get damaged if the wheel were to tumble. On the topic of charging, the second thing you need to know about this wheel is that the stock charger is excellent. It's a 5 amp charger, under 2 hours stock for a full charge, which is really quick. And you can even fast charge the wheel if you use a, I don't know, pit zoom charger, because there's just one port on this wheel. You can't use 2 chargers at the same time. And with this charger, like easy, you can get maybe like even 50 minutes. Use coupon code WRONGWAY on checkout if you want to get a discount.
But even out of the box, excellent charging on this wheel.
The third thing you need to know about this wheel is that the under-screen button sort of UI is excellent on the wheel, and it's my favorite way to change settings on a wheel, well, at least on the wheel itself, out of any other brand. So we have 4 buttons here. You turn it on the wheel by a long press, really nice, and by a short press you can cycle through the tail light presets. It's really nice to turn off the tail light just to be a bit more under the radar if you're just pushing the wheel around indoors. Here are the lighting modes, just on, blinking, fancy multicolor lighting, and off. And the light does get brighter when you brake. The next button is for the front light. A short press turns on the light in the weakest setting. Then you have a stronger setting, the strongest setting, and off. You can also turn on and off the daytime running light by long pressing this button. The second button cycles through the options here. Full odometer, temperature of the motherboard, voltage of the system, current amp draw, current watt draw, power draw, and signal mileage. You can reset this by long pressing. So, sort of like a trip odometer. The first button turns on park mode. Really convenient just to put the wheel on the kickstand, and then if you get it off the kickstand, it automatically engages balancing. So you don't need to second press the button again. You can also access all of the advanced setting by slightly longer pressing the first button. And here we have like all the parameters. There's a very nice English language manual, and also in other languages, which tell you what are all of the settings here about. Just really quickly, in order to explain to you how the setting adjustment here works: long press to get into a setting, up and down to change the setting, and back in order to confirm it with a short press of the left button. And then you can get out of here. Really nice. So the under-screen button UI is definitely really nice, but the fourth thing you need to know about this wheel is that the screen itself is just nice. It's backlit, it's very well readable. Just like Leaper-Kim, I think those are the best screens to use on a wheel. Really simple battery indicator here, very clear speed indicator, and all of the parameters just on one hand. And whatever you want to see on it, you get to see on it. Maybe there's not the biggest amount of info on this screen because you have to choose between voltage, temperature of the motherboard, and the odometer on the bottom, but nevertheless, this is by far my favorite on electric unicycles. The fifth thing you need to know about the NOSFET EON is that the app is miserable. It looks so sad, so dull. I mean, I'm happy that there's, settings that you can see right away once you open the app, like also the auto off time at 1010 seconds, because I guess that's the easiest unit to use. Also, my battery temperature is at 233 degrees. I don't think that's true. And even so, why doesn't it say anything? At least the controller temperature seems right. In any case, I'm happy that there is an app and you can change some settings on it, like the language, you can switch the units. There's the smart BMS info, although where is even the 233 degrees coming from? Is it like all of the temperatures summed up together all of the temperatures form 230 degrees? I don't know. I actually went through the hassle of doing the maths and corrected all of the temperatures combined. You can update the firmware, you can download the riding logs, but you can't adjust anything on the wheel. Like on Leaper-Kim wheels and on any other brand, you can do it either via the screen, if there is one and if there's buttons, or you can do it via the app. And some things are just easier to do on the app. Like you can just hold your phone and adjust sliders instead of hunching over and pressing the buttons. Don't get me wrong, I love haptic stuff and I love the fact that you can do everything here, but at least give us the option, since there is already an app and you have the software to do the things on the wheel. And yeah, you gotta fix the 230 degree bug, because with that temperature, this thing would be cooking. On to the next one. The sixth thing you need to know about the NOSFET EON is the performance. And the performance of this wheel is excellent. I love it. It's very powerful, it's very torquey, easily goes up 40-degree inclines. Yeah, it's just a very, very capable wheel. The top speed is around 60 kilometers an hour. I didn't usually go so fast on this wheel, up to 50 kilometers an hour occasionally, but usually I just cruise around town safely, not bothering anyone. The torque is there, the range is just slightly more than the Aero, but since you go faster on this wheel, the range sort of equalizes. So I would say anywhere between 45-50 kilometers with a usual riding style. Definitely at this weight, 28 kilograms, you could have more. And there are wheels that have more range at this weight, but then usually they don't have any suspension. Or let me know in the comments which wheel you would suggest that is 28 kilograms and has more range than this with suspension. So it has plenty of torque, it goes pretty fast, it charges quickly, and yeah, whatever you throw at it, it can do it. I didn't do any big jumps yet on this wheel because of my injury, but yeah, I can't wait actually to do some more off-roading on this wheel, because the Aero was already great, and I think this is even more capable. The seventh thing you need to know about this wheel is that it has excellent lighting. I'm very happy that in general, I think EUC manufacturers have learned what lighting to use on electric unicycles, and a lot of them have good lighting now. In any case, the front light has a daytime running light. I already told you about this in the sort of UI button thing chapter in this video. And you have 3 light strengths to choose from. And the front light has a cutoff beam, so you won't blind anyone when riding on the bike path. Awesome. The taillight also looks really cool. As said, it has many presets. Bang, bang, shebang. And yeah, it's lovely. But for those of you who like RGB lighting on the side or additional lights on the wheel, well, you won't find any here, but there are some aftermarket kits by Beidou that let you put RGB lights into the shell, which is a pretty cool option. So if you really like RGB, you can actually put it into the wheel, and it's not that hard to mount them. The 8th thing to know about this wheel is that the side panels are annoying. And I don't care if NOSFET says, oh, our wheel looks so emotional and nice without the side pads on. Okay, I guess that's marketing, but you actually ride the wheel later. And there's indentations in the side panels which make pad placement very difficult. The wheel itself is also very short on the side, or narrow, so you don't have that much room for pads. So out of the box, well, you can ride it with the stock pads that NOSFET will provide with this wheel. Well, depends on the distributor if you actually get those with the wheel or not. But it could have been just so much better. Like, Jack, you ride wheels, you know that your side panel sucks. Like, is it actually that important to make the wheel look sexy? Or can you just like provide a side panel or some sort of out-of-the-box solution? Like, if someone wants to actually ride the wheel in a performance manner, they will take pads. So I think it's a big con on the wheel, and if you actually want to use the performance of it, you will need to buy accessories. So here I have a Grizzla kit. You can use a coupon code wrong way on their site in order to get a 5% discount. I also receive a kickback from this order, probably you know about that. This is just something you need to buy, and then you put the sort of filler parts onto the shell, and then you can finally sort of use the wheel in a performance way. You can put the tail pad a bit further to the back. You can also mount the front pad nicer, so it has a nice surface area with the Velcro. Like, bleh. The ninth thing I need to tell you about this wheel is that it is accessorized. Well, who would have thought? It's all yellow accents. Grizzla made a tow hook for both the Aero and the EON, which honestly, in my opinion, should have been out of the box provided by NOSFET. I mean, if there's an option, why don't they do this? But this is an excellent way to just have, you know, a toe pad that is also safe because it's like a bit elastic, so you can always take your foot out. You have different kinds of shoes, easy to adjust. So that's a nice option. And you can also get those bumpers here on the bottom and on the handle. I don't think they are a necessity. They will protect your wheel if you want to set it later, and they do provide like a nice accent. I think the wheel looks a lot cooler now with all of those bumpers. So yeah, I think it's nice to accessorize this wheel, and it's also cool that the EON is built in a way to just accessorize it sort of easily. But yeah, tow hook, you know it out of Librakim. Why don't you have it out of the box, NOSFET? The next thing you need to know about this wheel is that it's not particularly smart or like advanced. And by that, I mean, it doesn't have any location functions. It doesn't have Apple Find My, like for example, Kingsong. It doesn't have any sort of smart app. It's not 4G connected like InMotion, which in my opinion is actually a plus. I don't like to have that much smart tech, but hey, if you like it, then no, this wheel doesn't have that. The app is very bare bones, as you have seen. There is no lock on this wheel. You can't set up a code, well, yet. Maybe there will be a software update which allows that, but you can't set up a code so anyone can just turn on the wheel and go out riding. It is very customizable in terms of riding, but in terms of like tech and like features, it's pretty bare bones. Also no speaker, no RGB on the side. Just wheel. And some people will love that. Definitely less stuff to go wrong. The 11th thing I want to tell you about the NOSFET EON, and it's a thing I don't usually talk about when it comes to wheels, but I think I should talk about it more often. There's no simple, like, secure way to leave this wheel outside. As said, there is no code, there is no lock in the screen. You can set up transportation mode, like that's the highest that you can go with. And all of the mounting points here, if you would put a U-lock on it or a chain, like they have screws. So you can just like unscrew the handle, unscrew the pedals, unscrew the kickstand. You sort of need a long chain to wrap around the wheel. Like you can put something through the rim itself, which is sort of a nice option, but the spaces here in the rim are not that big to put a beefy chain between the spokes here. Believe me, I tried. So usually you take the wheel anywhere you go, and that's sort of the rule for me. But recently I went to my old schools and I put the chain around the pedal, I believe, and that was good enough. But you know, maybe EUC manufacturers should start thinking about where to put sort of like a hole or like a mounting point to put a chain around the wheel, and also add a lock to the screen or via the app. Some of them already do that. Well, when it comes to the locking via the screen. The 12th thing you need to know about the NOSFET EON is that the footplates are actually good. The footplates on the NOSFET Aero were quite underwhelming, but now with the new nylon overlay, and I just use the big one, I don't use the small one at all, those things are pretty grippy. Now, I have various opinions from various riders. Some people don't like them. They are a bit small and they have like a lot of gaps, so I would like to have this gap closed and this gap closed. Just to have a bit more surface area for my feet. But the grip is nice and they're totally usable both off-road and in a city. I don't complain much, even though those are not MTB studs. They do seem quite sharp, but you know, over some time I guess they can get dull. MTB studs would be still better to have on a footplate like this. The 13th thing that you need to know about the NOSFET EON is that the ride feel is splendid. It's sublime. Now, initially when I got the wheel, I wasn't so happy about it. It felt a bit heavy. It felt a bit sort of cumbersome. But once I changed the settings to the settings that I'll tell you about now, which is about 10% sensitivity, 100% acceleration assist, and the setting ANG-TLT, which is sort of the gyro compensation after the wheel turns. Very complicated, just feels better in the turns. That's what you need to remember. At 100. And with those settings, this wheel is so easy to ride. It's so planted. Like the gyro effect of the bigger wheel and rim and tire compared to the Aero is a lot bigger. So this thing feels even more stable than the Aero. The sides of the wheel are very ergonomic, and with the seat by Grizzla, you can easily ride seated, and it also is very comfortable against your leg. So this wheel is really a all-around wheel, can do it all. It can do groceries with the, trolley handle extending, and that's great. And then you can go out, do off-roading, do inclines, stairs, have fun, and then you can just ride, chill on the street, and do some small slaloms on the bike path in a safe way. So the ride feel of this wheel is amazing. I love it. It's not a sofa. It's sort of like a rally wheel. Would that make sense? But at the same time, it's pretty comfortable. Like the suspension, also with the bigger travel, better than on the Aero. I don't know. This wheel does it all really well. And for tricks, that's something that Serge will like. He can do a lot of stuff on this wheel because it just enables him to do fun stuff. So this wheel is fun, easy to ride, awesome to ride. Awesome ride feel. I can't stop raving about it because it's just so good. And let some people try on this wheel and feedback, oh, I think that's the best wheel I've ever ridden. Or, oh, I really, really, really like this wheel. It's 100% like it, approved. So yeah, awesome ride feel on this wheel. And when we talk about liking things, please, can you like the video? Because then the algorithm will be happy. And I will be happy as well. I am quite annoyed that I need to tell you about this, but it works. Because when I don't say anything about this, then I get less likes and the video gets views less. And then it's harder to sustain this channel and make money off of all of this. So please like the video. Yeah. And comment below. And hit the bell. Next point. The 14th thing you need to know about the NOSFET EON is the tire sort of options. So there's, I think, 2 or even 3 tire options, like correct me if I'm wrong, but the ones I know about are the hybrid tire and the off-road tire. And the hybrid tire, which I have on this wheel, is amazing. It's grippy, it's very nice to ride both on street and on off-road. It's, not a super knobby tire to go through sand or mud, but this is splendid. It's very wide, it's a 12-inch rim, and yeah, I have no complaints here. Let me know how you like this wheel with the off-road tire, or if you have any other tire on it, well, comment below. But this, really good. The 15th thing that you need to know about the NOSFET EON is that the suspension is really, really good. Well, it's a hydraulic suspension. It's 90 millimeters of travel, so 2 centimeters more than on the NOSFET Aero, I believe. It's very smooth. It's not a sofa like the Emotion V12S, but it's like a nice middle ground between like comfort and not bottoming out. Try to say that really quickly 2 times in a row. Yeah, really good suspension on this wheel. And also low maintenance because there's no air in it. Just need to change the oil every once in a while. The access is very easy. I'll tell about that later. Number 16, let's focus on the kickstand. The kickstand is the same part as we use on the Aero, and while it is very functional, and you can also sit on this wheel like on the V12S, it's not a good chair though, like you sit pretty much on a tire. I feel like the kickstand is slightly too small for the wheel. Now don't get me wrong, it's nice that it doesn't get in the way of off-roading, but if you put the wheel on a kickstand and you take the wheel into a train, it will probably topple over, which is kind of annoying. So it's not the best design for this wheel because it's just not that sturdy, but I'm happy it's here. Honestly, I feel it's like a missed opportunity not to have a kickstand here in the front. So if you would put the wheel on the sort of head of it, then you would also get easier access to the charge ports. So maybe they can just adjust the handle in the future in order to have it also work as a kickstand. Because this one, while it's okay, it's not that stable when it's standing on a kickstand and it's leaning very far back. Number 17 on the list is the trolley handle combo. And it's really nice that we have two handles on this wheel. So you can grab it both in the front when you want to, sit down on the wheel. If you want to lift it, you can grab it like this, or you can even grab it by the pedals here on the bottom in order to lift it up from a lower point. Now you can also unlock or unlatch the trolley handle because otherwise it won't go up. And then this friction-based mechanism, which you can tighten up here in the front, is okay. I would prefer to have some sort of lock on the top as well, but this is definitely usable. It is also more comfortable to push this wheel around stores than the Aero because it's just higher off the ground, like it's just a taller construction, bigger tires. So this trolley handle is higher off the ground. But on the other hand, if you want to lift this wheel into a car trunk, it's a longer body, so you need to just eat it up a bit higher. It's also heavier, 28 kilos, so definitely the Aero has an advantage there. Oh, one more thing, you need to actually turn off the wheel with the button or press the P button in order to deactivate the balancing. I typically just turn it off because the wheel automatically self-balances once it detects that it's upright. That's not something that I want to happen all the time, so I just turn it off and then yeet it into a car. You can also grab it actually by the kickstand and the front handle. So handle situation is nice. It handles well. Oh, there's also a third handle below the Grizzla seat, which is also really cool. Then you can grab it by one handle, but if there's a seat, I can't use it. Number 18 is a big one, and it's something that is really important for users, and that is how easy is this wheel to work on. And honestly, this might just be the easiest wheel to work on, period. It's so easy to access everything. Like there's just two bolts holding on the pedals. Here you have the suspension bracket that you can screw out. Here are the batteries, a couple of screws here on the top in order to detach the battery from the motherboard. Super simple. Like almost all of the bolts have the same size, which is awesome as well. This wheel is really made with the customer in mind and maintenance in mind because, yeah, it's just good. I don't know how well the threads will hold up in the magnesium shell because that's something that can break if you don't do it correctly, and I don't know, let me know in the comments how that thing looks like. But in terms of working on the wheel, this is awesome. And as a bonus point here, because I forgot to put it into the notes, this wheel is also water resistant. I rode it in rain. There is no pigeon baths here like in the V12S. So yeah, you should be good to go with rainy rides. One small gripe I have with the wheel is that the motor seals, they make a sound once the motor gets warm. So sometimes I hear it, sometimes I don't. Maybe they can like improve it in some way, but tiny squeaks. When it comes to the mudguards on this wheel, the front one is okay, but it could be longer. So there will be some water spraying onto you from like around here, but it's not too bad. And the tail mudguard is sort of this double mudguard combo where you have one mudguard here and the other one in the back, which is sort of also the part that is in the front. It sometimes like makes some noises against the tire, so I don't know like what the tolerances here are. When it comes to rainy rides, the tail mudguard is also good. No water spraying onto my buttocks, but on the other side, like it gets just very dirty because the water just sprays here onto the top of the mudguard here. So I don't know if that's the best mudguard situation, but at least my body is dry when it comes to what the wheel does to me, so I guess I'm satisfied. But wait, there is more weight compared to the NOSFET Aero. When it comes to weight, which is number 20, is it? Finally 20! Finally 20! So when it comes to weight, this wheel weighs around 28 kilograms without the pads, so it's quite a bit heavier than the NOSFET Aero. And when you're riding, you're not really feeling that all that much. It's sort of more stable, and with the settings, it's still really easy to ride. But when you do feel it is when you need to lift it up. For a commuter wheel, if you want to have the smallest, most ergonomic, lightest wheel around with suspension and performance, well, this is not it. The Aero is still king of that. But the 28 kilos here, especially if you're fit, is still like good enough. It's not like a chonker like a Liebherr Lynx S, but it's definitely a lot more noticeable when lifting it up or like trying to put it into a car trunk than the NOSFET Aero. I wish it had a little bit more range though for this weight. Like, I think there should be a way, but this thing is so durable, like, I don't know what you could actually shave off when it comes to weight here. Maybe you could have no kickstand, but I don't think that weighs all that much. And I did save the most important for last, which is point number 21, and it is price. This wheel costs quite a bit of money. It's 2,500 euro, which, you know, compared to scooters, this is like extremely expensive, even compared to e-bikes. So I know that there's a lot of R&D costs when it comes to those wheels, but with this amount of range and this amount of performance, like, it's quite a bit of money. Like, can't you make it a little bit like less expensive, NOSFET? Like, that'd be really nice, because like it's just the motor, a battery, you know, the design here. It's a lot less parts than a scooter or an e-bike, but on the other hand, this is a really low volume compared to scooters and a lot more complicated manufacturing, a lot more responsibility, and also a lot more reliable. And I think the battery is also a lot safer than a scooter. So there is reasons why it's so expensive, but still, it's quite a bit. But let's see what we can also buy on Monokolo's site around that price. So you can get the NOSFET Aero, which is 300 euro cheaper. And probably a lot of you are asking Aero or EON, and let me just simply answer it to you. You can do most of the stuff on both wheels. I did off-roading on the Aero, I did pump track action on the Aero, and it can do it. The question is, how does it do it? This will be a lot more comfortable, a lot more planted, a lot more stable, a lot nicer to ride seated, but the drawback is that it's a lot bigger, it doesn't have more range, and it's a lot heavier. So the question is, if you prefer to have something tiny, like a tiny rocket like the Aero, which is an amazing machine, and you want to just shove that into the car, you know, trolley it around the house, put it into places, then the Aero will be better. But if you want to have the additional comfort, the suspension travel, better off-roading capabilities, because this has higher footplates and also more suspension travel, a bigger tire, then take the EON. So yeah, essentially if you need to lift stuff a lot, Aero. If you're mostly riding around or you can lift up the wheel easily, EON. But at the same price point, we also have the Kickstand S16 Pro, which will have around about the same range, but is a lot cheaper. The suspension is not that durable there though, as on this wheel, for example. There's the S19, a lot more range than this one actually, but same thing applying to the suspension, less customizable, less durable too. We talked about the V12S, so you can check out my recent review on this wheel to compare it to this one. And lastly, I think the last sort of competition is the Veteran Patton S or the Liebherr Patton S. And those things are very, very different. So the Patton S will feel heavy. It will be very difficult to lift it up, and it will have a lot more range. So this wheel is a lot more fun. It won't hurt you that much if you fall because it's just lighter, and it's easier to control because it's lighter than the Patton S. Where the Patton S excels will be range, slightly better performance, like more headroom, and you can go faster on it for a longer time. So the Patton is sort of a wheel you can use for everything, even like long group rides, going out of town and making sort of adventures. And this wheel is just limited by its range of 50 kilometers. So, you know, you have to sort of select what you pay for here. But 500 euro, honestly, for a lot more range is, I don't consider such a big upmark. And you can always use my coupon code WRONGWAY to get a 5% discount. So it is expensive, but it is also reliable. It has the performance. The only thing it lacks really is range, but at this weight, it's kind of hard to get. So those are the 21 things you need to know about the NOSFET EON. Did I miss anything? Let me know how you liked the video. And if you're still here, leave a like on it. Subscribe to see more content like this. I'll see you in the next video. See you soon.